I can read what it says. Let's just go A to B, B to C, C to D, and then D to A. Sound good? A to B. So I'm going to put in my formula, I'm going to put the square root button. Then I'm going to put in parentheses y2, so that's 4, minus y1, which is 0. And I am going to square that.
So
This is for A to B, yep. And then I'm going to add that to. As I'm writing, as I'm doing this, you should have your calculator out already. You should be doing this. You should not have your phone out at all. I'm going to take them. I'm done with this. You should be following along. I see like 2 people with their, maybe 3 or 4, with their calculators. Better get your calculator out. So I'm doing the square root of 4 minus 0 squared plus the x's are 3 minus 2 squared. So I get approximately 4.12. Okay? So that's A to B. So now I'm going to find B to C. Okay. So what is the y2 value if we're looking at B and C? 6. So I've got 6. Then I'm minusing it from, what's the y1 value? 4 squared. Plus, what's the x2 value? -2. Minus, what's the x1 value? 3. Squared, make sure the parentheses going over the whole thing. I get approximately 5.39. Okay. You're not putting in the calculator, right? You got something different. One, you should definitely be using the calculators that I have because it's easier to do. If you're having trouble, let me know. This square root is only square rooting that first number, not the whole thing. So we can do it. Make sure you have 2 parentheses at the end, 1 after the square root. Okay. Let's try, we've done AB, BC. Now we're going to do CD. Which one do we want CD to be congruent to? AB or BC? CD should be congruent to AB or BA. Yep. Okay. What is my Y2 for CD? The second Y value up there between C and D would be 2 minus, what's the Y value for C? And we square it, plus, what's the X value for D? Minus, what's the X value for C? Make sure you put minus and -2 or else you're going to do it wrong, or +2. You should get 4.12. If you're getting something different, you've got to let somebody know because you're not doing it correct. If you're you need to get this. If you're getting something different, you're getting something different. All right, we ready? The last one? We're going to do, what is it, D to A? Okay. So, we're going to do Y2, which is 0, minus Y1, which is a negative, no, it's a 2, squared, plus X1. Not sure why we're talking while I'm talking. Is it just to make me upset? Because it's working. X1 minus X2, which is a -3. I get 5.39. So for method 2, the method that we used is 4 distance formulas. What do you think method 3 is? We don't need the midpoint. Midpoint doesn't tell us anything about a parallelogram. So we've talked about, let's look at, turn your paper over. Turn your paper over, look at this. We have proven both sides are parallel, opposite each other. That's the definition of what a parallelogram is. We've used opposite sides are congruent. We can't really use angles here, right? I mean, we could find if it was a rectangle, they'd all have to be perpendicular if it's a square, but it's a parallelogram, so that's not going to work. We could use something with diagonals, but that's a little hard to figure out the exact spot where they cut each other in half. What does 8.11 say? If both sides of a parallelogram are congruent and parallel. So that would mean you need 2 slopes and 2 distance formulas. For example, we know that DA slope is 2, -5, and we know that CB's slope is 2, -5. We also know that D to A's distance, DA's distance, is approximately 5.39. We also know that CB's distance is 5.39. If we hadn't done the 2 above methods, I would have to do the slope formula and the distance formula again. Okay? All right, ladies and gentlemen, you need to get out a piece of paper. I'm going to read to you, and you're going to write 4 sentences for me.
Chapter 13.
I'm not going to turn it off, but I am going to stop recording.